Throughout the course of NBA history, how many times did you see a player do something like this on a regular basis?
Get away with that against Orlando, but this is not how you play the final 19 seconds.
Sheesh! Kobe Bryant was 100% on the mark when he said that Steph Curry is a stone-cold killer. Whether you're a big fan of the chef or not, I think it's safe to say that nobody will shoot the ball better than Steph once he decides to hang up his sneakers for good.
That's a backbreaker right there. No one was even around him. And Steph inside mid.
Same spot, same result. Anyway, with those three-point heaves included, Steph is on the track to eclipsing Ray Allen's three-point record this season. And I'm 100% sure that by the time this video is released, he would already have broken that record and become the new undisputed king of threes. And what's even more impressive about this record-setting feat is that he managed to catch up with Ray in 500 fewer games. If we're going to do some quick math here, Curry is on pace of making over 4,000 three-pointers in his career because if you remember, this is the guy who keeps breaking his own three-point records, and when it's all said and done, Steph's record of three-point makes is going to be just as untouchable as Kareem's all-time scoring record. Speaking of his three-point shooting, let's take a look at some ridiculous clips on how Steph lets it fly and just why exactly we'll never see someone like Steph ever again. Here against the 76ers, you'll see how Curry makes the defense pay when they forget to keep an eye on him, even just for a tiny fraction of a second. Curry tried to shake off Danny Green in this play, but when that didn't happen, he attacked inside and drew a couple of defenders. He then threw a pass to Looney, and as soon as he landed, Curry kept moving and relocated to the top of the key for a wide open splash.
Only got 7 points, Lisa, just 2 of 8 from the field. Trying to find some room. Looney gets it back. Curry launches three-pointer.
Now, in off-dribble situations, Curry is also lethal as ever, and you can see here against the Blazers, he showcased his individual skills by putting double fenders to sleep using the double step back.
The closeout. Curry was 7 on the shot clock. Tough step back, got it.
There's no doubt there that we won't be seeing another Steph Curry who can dominate the game as he does. Anyway, speaking of greatness, Steve Kerr recently talked about what makes Steph so legendary on the court, and here's what he had to say. Steph's competitive on a lot of different levels. It's one of the reasons Steph is as great as he is. It goes so far beyond just skill. It's the competitive desire and the belief in himself that he can follow through on that competitiveness. He finds ways to motivate himself. It's not fake, it's real. He wants to win a championship, he wants to beat the best teams, he wants to let the other players know in the league that he still got it. He's going to take on the challenge, whether it's LeBron or a young guy like Trey, who's up and coming, who maybe is following in Steph's footsteps. All that stuff factors in. Steph is a once-in-a-generation type of player who single-handedly changed the way we view the game from a three-point perspective. He's one of the catalysts who shaped the three-point revolution that we're seeing today, and I'm confident that he'll continue breaking the beliefs of what is possible. With that said, let's continue breaking down some plays and showcase why exactly we'll never see someone like Steph again. In this play right here against the Magic, Curry just casually drains a 30-footer as he sets his feet past midcourt.
Really back it out consistently. Wow.
Here against the Suns, Curry draws his defender by attacking the lane. When he shuts him off, Steph did him dirty with the subtle ankle breaker to create the separation for another bang in the bucket.
That they have here, and the right fit with the roster pieces. Uh-oh, look out!
Well, aside from breaking Ray Allen's three-point record, he's also on track to tie Magic Johnson's record of most MVPs won by a point guard. Yeah, that's right. The two-time MVP, Steph Curry, is leading the pack in the season's MVP race by currently averaging about 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, while shooting 40% from 3 and 92.7% from the charity stripe. Whether you take a look at the Las Vegas odds or listen to the comments made by well-known basketball analysts around the league, almost everyone is vouching for Steph to grab the MVP title this year, especially Shaq, who's been pretty vocal about his admiration to the two-time MVP. The reason Steph is my favorite player is that I've never seen anybody do it as he does. I've seen real greatness, and if you are not equal or above that, you get no props from me. All the great players have certain titles. There are only 2 or 3 guys you could talk about as the greatest ever. 2 guys you could talk about as the most dominant. He is going to sit by himself as the best shooter ever. Right now, he is the clear favorite for the MVP. Crystal clear. With the Dubs having the best record in the league, it's pretty hard to argue with Shaq's case because you got this guy playing MVP level basketball while suiting up for the best team in the NBA right now. Another thing that elevates Steph's legacy to a league of his own is his involvement in being part of an incredible dynasty that we haven't seen since the days of MJ and the Bulls back in the 90s. From 2015 to 2019, the Warriors appeared in 5 consecutive NBA Finals and won 3 of them. Curry also won 2 MVPs during that time, and after a 2-year hiatus, the Warriors are now back in the driver's seat and look to establish a new dynasty moving forward with the pieces that they have right now. If you take a closer look at the Dubs' current roster, there's no doubt that they're going to be a perennial threat to the championship in the future. I mean, you have a great pool of young guys like Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman, along with the trio of Steph, Clay, and Draymond, who will be at the tail end of their career. This cohesion of old and new will definitely be an integral part of the Dubs' total domination in the years to come, and we're already seeing what this type of roster dynamic can do this season. With this being considered, I believe Curry can win 3 or more championships if the Dubs develop the young pieces around Steph properly. And if that happens, Steph's legacy will be put to a higher plateau, which could eventually propel him to the GOAT conversation. Anyway, in this last round of highlight clips that I'm about to show you, let's see how Steph gets double teamed like no other player in the history of the game and how he makes the defense pay. In this decoy play right here against the 76ers, Curry, as always, draws the double team immediately once he gets the ball. Then Draymond Green sets the screen for Poole, who then gave a very accurate Steph Curry impersonation by nailing an off-the-curl 3.
Third quarter, Jordan Poole.
In this nice inbounds play, Curry was once again able to find JP3 after drawing 2 defenders. Poole then finished the play with a tough baseline reverse layup.
Tonight on TNT, great to have you with us. Much anticipated matchup as Poole.
Next off, being a legit threat on the floor, the Spurs doubled him as he caught the ball from the baseline. Curry is not the type of player who will force the issue, and in this play, he was able to dish the leather through the gaps of the defense and find JTA for an easy lay-in in traffic.
Steph's going to keep moving though. Curry to JTA to land.
Whether it's in an off-ball situation or a one-on-one matchup, Steph always finds ways on how to be an offensive juggernaut while carrying a childlike spirit and unparalleled passion every time the lights turn on inside the hardwood. In an interview some months back, Curry talked about in detail his approach to the game and what fuels him to put his heart on the court every time the opening buzzer sounds off. This is how I have confidence out there that I can play at a very high level every night. I don't get into debates, arguing with people about why I am versus somebody else. I feel like anybody who's at the level I'm trying to be at, if you don't think that when you're on the floor, then you're doing yourself a disservice. I have fun out there on the court, smiling, laughing, trying to have a good demeanor, and I guess I'm not the most physically dominating guy, so probably to most of the fans, they're pretty surprised what I can do on the court at my size. Anyway, let's move on here from the greatest offensive weapon to the greatest defensive shields. I'm talking about Draymond Green. He recently said that he's the greatest defender to ever play the game, and while some may disagree with that statement, no one can dismiss it completely, which is why I made this video right here. I break down just how good of a defender Draymond is, and you can make the decision for yourself if he's the greatest defender ever to step on the hardwood floor or not. Anyway, click the video guys, and like always, I'll be on the other side.